All right, everybody, welcome back to the Dave and Vinno show. Look, today we're gonna predict the future. Ooh. Yeah, I thought it'd be a bit fun if we kind of thought, right, a year from now, what do we think's gonna happen? And I've got a couple of questions. Vinno's got a couple of questions. Yeah, what do you reckon, Vinno? You up for it?
Man, I'm keen. It's been
Yeah, mate.
it's good to get on. We missed a week there. It's been a pretty hectic couple of weeks, so good to get on and I can do it again.
Well, let me do the first one then. Do you think if you can gaze into your crystal ball, your crystal mic, will you be living in the same home as you are this time next year? Do you think?
No, that's
shit.
that's not even a prediction. That's it's a guarantee. The prediction would be what weekend or what date that we can move in. So, original dates were the 16th of December. That's been pushed back now till the 21st or 22nd. So,
22nd.
yeah, we've got a settlements looking like it'll be the 23rd. So 2 days before Chrissy. So it's been fucking hectic. As you can see, I've cleared out most of the stuff behind me already. It's already in boxes. My house is full of boxes.
Yeah, man, it's fucking. I moved a couple of years back. It's fucking hell. You know, it's horrible, man. Especially with little kids, and you got, Rin's pregnant as well at the same time. Well, she's not just pregnant. She's, fucking how far? 6-7 months now.
There's a chance that we could be moving, and she could start the process. So I want to. Yeah, we've been trying to get in there. 6th of January, she's booked in to get induced. But if this one's anything like Oliver came 2 weeks before she was supposed to be.
That's nearly
induced.
the date then.
Yeah, man.
That's it. Like, yeah,
I've got no hairs to pull out,
shit.
but I'm starting to pull fucking.
It's all skin and bone now. Yeah.
So yeah, it's happening, man. It's just trying to get everything lined up in case that does happen, because that's going to make things even tighter, obviously. But yes, but
I
to
predict
answer your
it's going to be
question,
fine. I predict it's going to be fine.
oh yeah, I'd like to say that, but and anyone that's moved knows that. Fuck, it's a process. So
Yeah, but this might be that one time where nothing goes wrong when you're moving, and nothing's stressful and everything's perfect, and the dates don't get pushed again.
Yeah, I put out the feelers. I think it was yesterday when we exchanged. Put out the feelers and let everybody know what the date was potentially going to be. Try and get all hands on deck to help us, because it's essentially we've got from the conversation yesterday, we're going to have about 24 to 48 hours to get out of this place before settlement. So it's it's pretty tight time frame, but doable.
Yeah, you
just got to be organised. Yeah. But to answer your question and to answer your prediction, no, we won't be in the same place by next year. So there's going to be a whole new recording den and everything. It'll be fucking real good. Yeah, real good.
Fucking right. I'll be interested to see the new place. It'd be good. New year, new studio,
new pool. Might even set up by the pool to do it.
Oh man, that's right. Yeah.
Might even have to do a live episode with the smoker going and next to the pool.
Poolside productions. Yeah, no, you're doing well. Yeah,
that'd be good.
One.
Yeah, so like you said, predictions. This is all for next year.
Do you want to go?
Mine are the first one that I thought of when you messaged me and said, have you got a prediction? I sort of, my first thought was, I don't know, pretty dark and morbid. My first one was, what's your prediction for the situation in Ukraine, Russia? And,
I got that one as well. Hold up, let me cross this shit out. Because yeah, man, that's gonna be. So, I don't know if much will be changed. It's like so far, you've got Ukraine has pushed Russia. They're fighting in the south and in the east now. They're pushing them out of the Oblast, Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporozhye. They kicked them out of Kherson, Kharkiv. But the Russians, they've got their mobilization, so they're sending in people, and they're not doing well at the moment. So do I predict it keeps going like in a year from now? That's another year to the war. I don't think the war has actually even been a full year now since the invasion. Like Russia has been there since Crimea in 2014, but since the invasion, can they last another year? Can Russia last another year?
Do you reckon it could? Do you reckon it could erupt into more if more countries get involved? Say China gets involved, North Korea.
I don't think China and North Korea will get involved.
No,
I think I can't see them getting involved. I don't think it'd be needed for the moment, because then it opens it up.
It does
for allies to get involved, and they don't want that. That's why
China
Belarus has been a bit touchy.
China getting involved, taking on, or they start or invade Taiwan, that would obviously open it up.
That's what you got to think about China.
Well, a similar situation to World War II with the war in Europe going on, and then Japan obviously attacking America, which drew everybody in even more. I mean, America were already involved, but
that's when you do it. I mean, a lot of revolutions happen during wartime because when the superpowers are distracted, good time to strike. That's when Ireland in 1916, when we did our uprising, that was during World War One. That was very strategically planned, and that was a failed uprising. But I don't know. I think because China's not distracted from a big war at the moment, I think that they could, if they were, I don't think they get involved in Ukraine. My prediction for Ukraine would be that hopefully there's some sort of peace agreement brokered, and that Russia is out of wherever. Like say they give them the Donbass or Crimea, fine, stick there, but Russia is out elsewhere, and there's peace deals so that trade can happen again, and that targets like the nuclear power plants and the power stations in Ukraine aren't getting targeted anymore. Maybe something like that. You would hope there'd be peace, but if there's not, it might still be the same slugfest. But will it escalate to nuclear war? Will Russia launch some tactical nukes?
I don't see it getting to nuclear war stage, simply because of the bounty that's already been put out on Putin's head by can't remember who the Russian oligarch was, but
the oligarch,
offered a bounty $1 million or something like that, which is pretty cheap for that sort of person, I think. But
they're worth a lot more in Russia.
Yeah,
is that $1 million American dollars, or what is it?
I'm not sure. I just saw that was the figure. I don't think it'll get nuclear. I think that he's lost a lot of support there, and there is a lot of, or it's forced support. So if it came down to it, I think you'd see a similar situation as what we did in the Cold War, with an order being given and a refusal to fire missiles and those sorts of things. So I don't think it'll get nuclear.
I don't think he would anyway. I mean, he's not fighting a nuclear power, so any nuke.
But he's desperate, and all it would take is those allies getting involved for him to sort of go that extreme measure. I think Putin's quite capable of giving that order.
Because I think any strike he does will be a tactical, low-yield nuclear weapon if he was to use one.
Yep.
And I can't, but I think the type of one he would use would not trigger a huge NATO. Now there would be responses conventionally, but I don't think because Ukraine is not a NATO country and because they don't have a defensive pact like that, I do think that the West and NATO would hold. And they would ramp up the war in different ways, more conventional ways, and they would use that to get people like China on board. People like say, "Here, look what he's doing." You know what I mean? And I think they would use it that way. I don't think that they would. So I don't think there's going to be an all-out unless something happened where they did a nuclear strike and radiation is elevated in Poland, and like. It can be considered, they can do Article 4 or Article 5, and they can trigger that and something can happen. But
I honestly don't think
by
it'll
this
be.
time. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Yeah.
No, I just think hopefully better heads prevail, and by this time next year there will be some sort of peace deal that I would hope gives Ukraine back the Donbass region and Crimea. Like that's what I'd love, but it's what they're willing to give up, right? I mean, if they're winning the war, they're winning the ground war, and Russia hasn't gone
That's right.
tactically yet. So should they give up those regions? I don't know. What do you think?
I think the only way NATO and Western forces will get involved if there is another few attacks or missile attacks on embassies, like we've seen for the German embassy and missile strikes in Poland and stuff like that. I think there's only so much those countries and NATO as a whole will put up with that before they have to get involved. You know, it's I think, yeah, if there's another even one or two attacks, then something will change there drastically. I don't see it going to be an all-out war with Western forces and NATO getting involved, because there is that threat that Putin has thrown out with using nuclear weapons, even though Biden and the United States have not backed down to that.
They said there'll be a response.
There would be a response.
They didn't say there'll be nuclear war.
No.
Biden actually did say it could be Armageddon, but he said there'll be a response. That could be like more sanctions. Maybe they up their weapons to Ukraine and start giving them more air defense.
I think the pressure will come if it strikes on NATO country.
Oh, it's over,
right? I think
if there's any strike, a purposeful strike now, because that hit in Poland was an accident. It was actually Ukrainian air defense missiles, but because Ukraine was getting shelled to fuck from Russia, they were launching missiles at them. Their air defense system actually went off track. Supposedly, there's still an investigation at the moment, but even the White House has come out and said, "Hey, I don't think this was Russia. I think this might be a Ukrainian air defense mess up." Although that's the best case scenario, so maybe they're putting that forward to kind of simmer the tension at the moment. I think either way, it's an accident.
Yeah.
And I think if it's an accident, and it's not hitting major targets and stuff like that, I do think there'll be certain things let slide, and they'll go at it in a diplomatic route. But if there's a purposeful, like you were saying, strike against a NATO country by Russia or anybody, this is the truth, by anybody, all holy hell.
Yeah.
Like, NATO's the shit. NATO tank clan ain't nothing to fuck with. There's no place to hide once they step inside the room. Dr. Doom, prepare for the boom. They wouldn't even go nuclear. They wouldn't need their conventional weapons of all these nations together. It's but like, I can't see Putin. Like, Putin, I thought was a rational actor, and he's obviously not a rational actor because of what he done. He invaded Ukraine. I thought he'd never do that. I thought he'd by proxy and pop, give the Luhansk and Donetsk newly formed republics help through diplomatic channels, similar to how America's doing for Ukraine. But no, they got directly involved.
Yep.
But at the same time, is he suicidal? Because the criminal will be gassed. Like, you name it, it's gone. Like,
I think
Russia will be taken out
to that point where he is even more unpredictable than before. He's getting. I mean, we've seen a slight deterioration in him from prior to this war to where it is now, and the pressure is obviously getting to him in some ways. And I think, especially with that pressure internally from, a Russian oligarch offering a sum of money, I think he will start to be a little bit more unstable, because he's not feeling safe at home with those sorts of threats. He knows there's pressure from losing the war in Ukraine, so then there is going to be even more threats back home with even his inner circle looking at him and going, well, why do we support him if he's just failing on every front and he's under threat? Do we go down with the sinking ship? So I think as that progresses, he's going to become even more unstable. That's why I say I think he's quite capable of giving that order for nuclear weapons. I think it is the Russian people themselves that will prevent that sort of thing happening.
Hopefully.
Well, we've seen it from them before, as I mentioned. During the Cold War, there was multiple cases of that, of nuclear weapons potentially being fired due to fuck ups, and it was the Russian people themselves that stopped it, or people in charge of those missiles that stopped them from actually going through with orders and whatnot. So yeah, I think we're going to see pretty serious destabilization within that government the longer it drags on. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's overthrown internally prior to that.
That's best case scenario.
That is best case scenario. However, I think
Russia.
I think if things kick off in Taiwan with China, that will take a lot of the focus off Ukraine and Russia, and they will use that opportunity to try and advance themselves more, because obviously then United States and a lot of other countries have given support towards Taiwan for that sort of scenario. And inevitably, I think we'll be kicking off into somewhat of a third world war with that. China's not silly. They're going to pick their time, and I mean, we'd be silly to think that they haven't been sitting back and watching the whole situation, and if they were going to strike, planning a time to do that. So,
well, Xi Jinping has a timeline. They want to unite the Chinas with Taiwan. They want, he has a timeline for wanting to do that. I guess something that might be unforeseen in that might make me want to be like, maybe he won't fuck with Taiwan in the next year at least. I think it's because he is dealing with quite a lot. Xi Jinping's China's people are kind of rising up at the moment because of COVID. There's zero COVID lockdowns. The housing crisis over there. The fact, and this was always going to happen as well. The more China kind of became, they grew their middle class, as well as getting more information from outside of China. But there's a huge uprising happening at the moment. It's getting bigger and getting bigger. The only thing that makes me think that might drag China away from Taiwan is domestic shit.
Well, it's that timing, isn't it? If you're fighting a battle at home, you're not going to take that externally, then, are you? You want a united front before you're going to war. So I think if that settles down, then there needs to be a lot of focus on that area, because if that settles down and they start to fix things at home, that's when you're going to get a red flag for them focusing on Taiwan. And if the war in Ukraine is still going at that time, then it's going to kick off. And I think inevitably from that as well,
World war from it.
Well, yeah, because then North Korea will see their opportunity maybe to start moving down south again if they get support, and there's a war going on. So I don't know. It's going to be it's a scary time, but at the same time, as you mentioned, Russia is being beaten in Ukraine. So if that continues, it might change the outcome of a lot of potential shitstorms around the world.
Issue. And we were saying earlier, I mean, maybe they won't want to get involved with Taiwan because of stuff domestically, but a foreign war or a war, I guess, can also unify a country. I mean, you look at the likes of George W. Bush, when he had disastrous polling data and approval ratings, but after 9/11, he won his second election in a landslide. He won his midterms in a landslide. He had like an 80%. There's something about like when you get attacked or when there's an outside force issue, it kind of does bring people together. And then it also allows him to open up more powers domestically as well. We're under war. We're at war now. So
Well, it was a playbook for Hitler.
They can mobilize people.
You know, the false flag
Yeah,
attacks
that's
in
right,
Poland. You know, that's that was his.
The Reichstag, was it, or something?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was.
Firebombed his own building.
Oh yeah, yeah. And then you had, you know, his elimination of competition. Yeah. You look at that period.
He killed all the other parties that helped bring him into power.
A lot of people, man. Like a lot of his own supporters who were getting ambitious. You know, I can't remember. It was the night of the. I can't remember
the knives or something.
Yeah. Where they just went ham. You know, you had his brown shirts. The leader of the brown shirts was killed, and they were disbanded and taken over by Gestapo and the SS and those sorts of things. So, and that was how we moved from Chancellor to, you know, essentially the leader of the country and all those sorts of things.
Supreme Mega Hitler, El Kanye's mate.
Yeah. So it's, you know, it's interesting to look at that and the way he did that so strategically. To the way
they all
things
do
are done. Man, it's
Lenin
it's a playbook.
to Stalin. They had to take out Trotsky, you know, and that's really why Stalin's where he is, because Lenin fucking didn't want to lose the party to Trotsky, so he bolsters Stalin. And yeah.
There's actually really.
I guess they know not what they do. You know?
There's a really good documentary. I think it's on Netflix. It's called The Dictator's Playbook. And it goes through. So it looks at Stalin, looks at Hitler. It looks at Mao and who else? Who else has it got in it?
Got to put Gaddafi in there. They put Gaddafi
I think
or Saddam or anything like that.
Yeah, he's in there. One of the episodes with him is about extravagance. You know, once you're...
Yeah.
You know...
How he kind of went a bit crazy with the golden guns.
Yeah, man.
And they called himself the King of Kings, the sunglasses and wearing... And then he just switched... when it wasn't cool to be Middle Eastern or Arab anymore, he fucking switched African. Started wearing like clothes with like little Africas all over him and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, there's some cool things about Gaddafi. Oh, don't get me. I'll do a whole episode on Gaddafi.
You love him.
You probably should.
Yeah.
He's an interesting motherfucker.
I would like to do
a horrible cunt
just
too.
on those guys and drug lords, but
yeah.
I can't for the life of me fucking think of his name. Iraq.
Saddam.
What the fuck? Saddam. I'm fried after boxing and moving. Fucking packing today.
You're alright, mate. You're alright, brother. But here, look.
Yeah, Saddam Hussein. So it's a really cool series, and if you get the chance, watch it because.
I'd say Dictator's Playbook.
Yeah, the Dictator's Playbook. And yeah, it goes through how they came to power and certain things that they did, and there's a lot of similarities. And I suppose at the time when I watched that, it was very alarming because it was almost a step-by-step series of what Trump was doing at the time as well. It was, you know, the separation and the creating divide, and you know, propaganda is a huge thing. Well, yeah. Well, a big thing with dictators is the lack of respect for democracy and without having a peaceful transition of power. So and that's another, like the fact that he not recognized the election and didn't allow the governments to have a transition of power. That's huge. Yeah. Alienating minorities and creating that common enemy was, I mean,
politicizing the military and police, things like that. Like the demagoguery, you know, like it's the Mexicans, it's the immigrants, it's the this, it's the, you know, like, and now he's hanging out with Milo Yiannopoulos and Nick Fuentes, and obviously Kanye West, who's his own little ball of craziness. But yeah, Trump was scary. Okay, well look. Since we're talking that a bit,
all right.
Let me have a look here.
We've gone in heavy early.
Republican frontrunners. Who do you think will be? I've got some funny ones. We can do them later, and we can get the serious ones out of the way.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to be the Republican frontrunner in a year from now? So you got Kanye, Donald Trump, DeSantis, Mike Pence. I'm trying to think who else is a possible runner.
You reckon Ted Cruz?
I think he might get involved to be involved, but I don't think that he's got a lot of years left in him and a lot of political capital. I don't think he's going to waste it. And he's just won his re-election in Senate as well. I don't think he'll run again for president this year. I think he'll wait for Trump to die or not run again before he runs again. But you might have a big Republican field because Trump's losing in a lot of polls to DeSantis. He's seeming more and more unelectable than he was, which is hilarious. But yeah.
Sorry, I thought that door was opening.
Yeah, brother.
It's been interesting to see the divide within that Republican Party and people that were heavy supporters of Trump turning away from him due to that the massive failure in the midterms. Yeah, mate. You know, he promised. I think people, well, they're starting to realise that, you know, he's made all these promises and hasn't delivered time and time again, and some of them might be waking up and realising that, yeah, he's a con. Obviously, you've still got your diehards, and you saw that with, you know, Marjorie Taylor Greene getting voted back in, and her support base is that.
Lauren Boebert too, by the skin of her teeth.
Yeah. Yep. So
but Marjorie Taylor Greene's campaigning to be Trump's vice president at the moment.
Yes.
That's what, yeah. So that could be fucking, what a card, eh? What a ticket.
Well, you could use their own rhetoric against them there and saying, you know, they talked a lot of shit when Biden became president, and he appointed Kamala Harris to be his vice president, and there was a lot of talk there that he was doing that with, you know, planning to retire or not make it through the whole term or pass away so that it would make it the first female black president. So you could almost, you know, look at it that way, that they're setting her up for that because they know that she won't get voted in as president. They know that Trump has got that support or some support there, and there's a chance he won't make it through the entire term, which essentially means her stepping in. And I mean, she's just a fucking embarrassment.
Yeah, but they all are. Like, Trump was an embarrassment.
Oh yeah, but she's
she's batshit. She is batshit.
Absolutely batshit crazy, and I just couldn't think of anything worse for America.
So
having
she won't
her.
run. She won't run because she might go VP because of Trump.
But that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I think that's her angle to getting there. If she's in that vice president position, you know, setting herself up to, or that, you know, that might be the intention.
Do you think DeSantis or Trump will be in the lead by next year? Because like you said as well,
I think DeSantis.
People are fleeing from Trump, right?
I think, I just don't see him getting in for another term if he's not in jail by then. Because there is still that possibility that all that is still going on. He's getting sued from out the wazoo at the moment, and the Ninth Circuit have stuff on him. Yep.
He might be getting subpoenaed, like, but he can still run for president, and this is within a year. So, yeah, I think he'll still be up there because the problem, I think, is as soon as he starts getting on debate stages with these guys, he is good. Not a clever, good debater, but he's good at being on stage and alpha aping the other Republicans. Like he did 16 of the best Republicans in 2016, and he slaughtered them all I don't think DeSantis has the gusto to get him there. I think Pence might be able to catch him off guard in places because Pence is a bit of a wild card now because Pence was there. Pence might have some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He might be able to whip out some shit. I don't see Pence winning the nomination though. The voters won't like Pence.
Pence lost a lot of their support, I think, on January 6th. You know, when they were...
Yeah, because he wouldn't rob the election.
He wouldn't.
For Trump.
So I think that, you know, and as we've seen, the moment that they've got a red mark through their name, it doesn't matter what his position is or whether he's going to do the right thing by supposedly his base. He's got a red mark through there, right? So that he's he's wasted. I think they're going to have those other people that do support him. I just don't see Mike Pence even getting nominated or getting to that level. I think he's done there. Yeah, look, even though Trump might be good on stage, I think people are fed up with him, or the Republicans are fed up with him. I think more of the white supremacist side of things have seen that he's too much of a liability, especially after January 6th and these investigations and those sorts of things. They've been brought right out of the woodwork, and they haven't got that safety blanket over them anymore with him not being president. So I think he will lose a lot of support there. They'll be reluctant to get behind him again, because if it does fail them again, then they've put all their eggs in one basket. I think they've only got one fucking basket to put it in, because they're just pieces of shit anyway. But I just don't think
making omelets.
Yeah, I just don't think he's got that support anymore. Especially if these investigations blow out. He can say as much as he wants about it being unfair and untruthful and whatnot, but the more and more these investigations go on, and the more people that get dragged in and put in jail and all that for January 6th and those sorts of things, I just don't know that too many people will want to be on the sinking ship with that.
Here's the problem, though. What if Trump doesn't win the nomination? He's going to say, this is rigged. He's going to say the Republicans stole the election from me. He's not going to, if he loses, will he admit he loses?
That divide's already in there, I think. Right? So you've already got the divide within the Republican Party. I just don't think he's got the majority support there. So yes, he'll jump up and down and say, oh, it's rigged and all that sort of stuff. But then, that's...
You'll get the diehards to stay home for the general.
He will. Look, he's going to get...
And then
he's going to have those
Joe
diehards
Biden
anyway.
Fucking again.
Yeah. He's going to have those diehards anyway, right? So whether he wins or loses, there's going to be those diehards. And I think he can call out that he lost as much as he likes within the Republican Party. He can say that.
But if you're Joe Biden, who would you rather run against?
Look, I think for Joe, it could be either at the moment because of how divided it is. I wouldn't say, oh yeah, definitely this one or that one, because they are so heavily divided. Whatever they're divided, Biden's winning, right?
It's 2 years. A lot can happen in 2 years. But if you look at it now, he's already beaten Trump.
Yep.
And if DeSantis wins, all of Trump's people are going to fucking shit themselves and hate DeSantis because Trump's their fucking god. So like 10 to 20% of that party, Trump could fucking shoot his kids on television, and they'll still vote for him. They'll be like, look, the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Well, they've already asked him this question. Remember when...
shoot someone on Fifth Avenue. That's what he said. Yeah.
And they wouldn't worry. They wouldn't bat an eyelid. Like, that just shows how fucking insane these people are. And like we were just saying before with, dictators and propaganda, how strongly that works. And you can't deny it that News is just flat out propaganda. Like you could do a study on that as to
everyone knows now.
They do.
They even took down their fair. They used to say Fox News fair and balanced, but they just got rid of that because I think people were like, we know you're Republican news. Come on, dudes. Well, anyone who was half decent, they got rid of, like Chris Wallace.
They're registered as entertainment because they can't get a license for a genuine news channel because of the shit that they talk. So if you still look at that and go, oh yeah, this is news, you're a fuckhead. Like, I'm sorry. And I get it. Like, I get that American politics is very blue or red, one side or the other. But if you are looking at your source of information and they are registered as an entertainment channel, it's no different to people getting their information from Facebook, right? Like,
everyone gets their fucking news from memes now. The headlines and memes are like, what do we believe now? Sweet.
Yeah.
Give me a little Tucker Carlson fucking snippet. on a TikTok. Oh shit! Like, you know,
You could.
a lot of people get that. Yeah, they're only one or two questions away from having no political opinion. Like if you go to somebody, say about Joe Biden or Donald Trump, they can't mention policies or they can't mention something good or bad that they've done. Like I can mention stuff that I think Joe Biden's done that's bad, and I would support Joe Biden over Trump. And I can mention things that I think Trump done that were good, and I would never vote for him. So, well, unless it was over against someone terrible, you know. Yep. But I think that's a tell. I think if you can be like, oh, you hate Joe Biden, can you name anything he's done that's good?
Well, even just saying
it's bad, even
saying to them,
usually it will be his speech pattern that they bring up.
Yeah, and they start talking in circles and that. But even if you say, why do you hate Biden? A lot of the time, it's just the same shit. Like, they're just repeating absolute garbage. And I think the worst thing for that country, and they're starting to see it here as well, is QAnon, you know, and those conspiracy sites and those sorts of things. They are so dangerous. Because a lot of the nutcases are spurting the shit that they see on these, like through QAnon and all that, and all these conspiracy theories, and none of it is based. And I mean, it's easy for us. We sit back and we see these videos and we hear these people talk, and you go, "You're batshit crazy." But if that's all they are absorbing, and they're in their little echo chambers, you know, and I get it, but there's also comes into question, you know, that lack of education, the lack of I won't say cognitive ability, but
that's part of it.
I'm going to go into it. I'm going to go into it. I think religion is being so strong in America has taken away a lot of those. Trying to think of the technical name for them, but your skills your critical thinking skills.
Critical thinking, yeah.
So I think just the way, and we know we've talked about it before, about the way that religion is, or Christianity, I won't say religion, the way Christianity in America is run, it takes away or limits people to having those critical thinking skills, as well as the education system. And I think they very much play on that. It's documented that they do play on that, because they can't differentiate fact from fiction in a lot of ways, and these conspiracy theorists can say whatever the fuck they want, like we just said about the memes. I mean, you could make a meme today that's complete and utter bullshit, but if it's got the right picture behind it, people will jump on that and take it as gospel. And that comes down to those critical thinking skills. You know, you and I can, and a lot of people here can look at that and go, oh, yeah, he's taking the piss, or it's, oh, what fucking garbage. They can't, and that's where the trap that these poor people do fall in. So that the likes of Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all that can get in power. So
yeah, look, I'll agree with you. Like, there's definitely certain religious groups in America that are very far right and conservative, and they get very political. Mm-hmm. But then you look at Biden as well, very deeply religious person.
Yeah.
You look at like Cornel West and some of the most lefty kind of people in America, and Martin Luther King. Like, you can keep going. These are very deeply religious people too. Mm-hmm. It's about how that manifests, but you also it's not just about that. It's religion in its mix with single issue voting and social issues. So like guns. America are very religious, but they're also very they love their guns too. But then they also love, they're like everything's split down the middle. Marriage is split down the middle. They just passed the Marriage Equality Act, or codified it into law. Yep. Now, so it's not just upheld by the Supreme Court, and that not just allows same-sex couples to be protected. It also is interracial couples. So to think that the majority of do you need to do something?
Sorry, brother. No, just you're right. We got the portable aircon in here tonight. Fuck, it's hot.
You're all right, brother. So I don't know. There's a lot of things at play. Everything's politicized over there, and it is left and right. However, like I will say, I don't think enough effort has been done on the left side of politics. Now, I'm not talking about the communist, the socialist side. I'm talking about the progressive, the liberal side of politics to accept, to listen to these people and try and talk to them more and more and more. Again, there is a gullibility about some of these people, and there's algorithms they're getting stuck in, and propaganda is a powerful tool, like we spoke about earlier. So I feel like we have to keep finding ways and inroads to, because it's over here too.
Oh yeah.
Making peace with these people, and there are countries all over the world like Israel and Palestine, and that are North and South Korea that are more deeply broken than the likes of the American left and right, and our left and right, and everyone's. So I think it's a lack of leadership, because our leaders are dividing us. I think Joe tried. You know what I mean? But he's not the right guy to unite everybody. He just isn't. He's just, because he's been around for so long.
Yeah.
I think he's saying and doing the right things, but he's been around for too long. He represents the Democratic establishment too much.
Yep.
And I think the far left in America, and here in some ways, are so purely driven, and they're so antagonistic, and they're ready to end you for something you did 50 years ago, or 30, 20 years ago, or something you misspoke, or I think, and I don't get me wrong, the conservatives are batshit. I disagree with them, but I would hold us to a higher standard to try and accept people, and to help bring these people over. Flies with honey, you know, you catch more flies with honey.
Absolutely.
And not just that, it's not working, chastising and banning and fucking, and not laughing at these people's jokes and being angry with them. It's better to we got to talk to them. We got to start talking to each other more.
And you said it perfectly there with the left, right? You see it far too often with people that are pushing for tolerance. A lot of the times they're the most intolerant of things, and instead of trying to engage in conversation, talk to people, there is so many people on the left that will just jump down your throat. And probably a controversial opinion, vegans are the worst for it, from what I've seen, right? I've got a lot of friends that are vegan, some of them that I didn't even know for quite a while. Really good, and you can engage in a conversation. However, the ones that are so intolerant of other people not wanting to be vegan, and not sort of trying to educate or put their point across in a conversation, are the most insane fucking people on the other side, right? But it's that push that if they say something, and like you said, it comes down to cancel culture, or cut them off because of something they said 20 years ago, right? People grow. The person you are today is not the person you're going to be in 2 years, 10 years, people change. People
1
change.
year predicted.
Yeah. And look, in the last decade alone, there has been so much change socially with, gay marriage being voted in. Fantastic. There is still a lot of people, though, that are that is extremely new to them, and to jump down those people's throats straight away, instead of helping them or encouraging them to see it from a different view, and to move forward and adapt with the times. I mean, you could sit there and argue that, get with the times, fucking hurry up, but having an understanding of other people's backgrounds, their beliefs, and how they've been raised, and those sorts of things, the left does need to be more tolerant there, and needs to be a bit more patient, because the effect is the hatred then spirals, because you've got more conservative people, and the moment they open their mouth and say, I don't like this, they have people jump down their throats and said, okay, well, what don't you like about it? Let's talk about it, right? So instantly you've got that divide, and people are going to hit heads. So I think the left needs to work on that a lot more. Conservatives need to be more tolerant as well, in the sense that not every law that changes and every bit of progress that happens is going to destroy their way of life or their belief system or them having some traditions, and maintaining those. It becomes hard, but at the same time, in theory, it's quite fucking simple. But when, in practicality, as we know, it becomes extremely difficult. And the fall is communication. Just
yeah.
What you're saying.
It's funny,
before.
we're so divided and we're so segmented now. And I think a lot of it is to do with social media and the internet, which was supposed to bring us close together. Whereas before, it used to be like we would have to be in a community and we'd have to talk to each other and you'd have to get along. If there was a dude in your community you fuck toasters, love, you know what I mean, or whatever, he was just in the community and he would be like, hey, mate, I fuck toasters. And you'd be like, all right, mate, that's a bit weird. Whatever. Let's talk about it. And he would have no one to talk about fucking toasters with, except for his community. But now, this dude doesn't have to enter the community anymore. He can go online and all of a sudden, wow, toasterfuckers.com. I am united with 1,000 people who fuck toasters. And I don't have to talk to anyone else. So all I'm doing now is I'm talking to the toaster fuckers. So, and there's everyone, they're so like me and everyone's so now when I'm walking out on the street, everyone else is weird.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You know what I mean? You have a problem with me, fucking toasters? But yeah, it's the first time you've told us about it and you won't even talk to us about it because anything we say against fucking toasters now, you're going to shut down and you're going to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go back to the people that accept me and they're the toaster fuckers. And you know what? He should be allowed to fuck a toaster. You know what I mean? And we shouldn't be dicks to him for fucking toasters either. We shouldn't be making memes about him. We shouldn't be demonizing him for fucking toasters. You know what I mean?
But this is the other side of that too.
Yeah.
Like you've got, as you said, the internet.
Apologies to toaster fuckers. Yeah.
the internet has,
Didn't mean to drag him into this.
Brought people a lot closer, but it's also exposed a lot of people to a lot of information that they may not have ever seen prior to that, right? So you look at, and I'll use rural areas as an example, remote rural, right? Where some of those people have been born in that community, they've lived in that community, some will never ever move away from that community. They know everybody there, they're comfortable, they're happy there. If they don't have a toaster fucker in that town, they would have never ever heard of toaster fucking, right? So then all of a sudden, in the space of 10 years, so to speak, or say 20, some of these people are exposed to toaster fucking and then kettle fucking and sink fucking, right? So all these new concepts that they've never ever seen, their grandparents have never seen, their parents have never seen, those sorts of things. So it's new and it's just this influx of information, and instantly they freak out a little bit. They think, what the fuck's going on with the world? What's happened to the world? The world hasn't so much changed. They're just now exposed to things that they normally wouldn't have been. They were ignorant to that. And it's the old saying, ignorance is bliss. So you get this people with their backs up, and that's where there needs to be that patience, and talk people through and just say, look, toaster fucking's been going on for, thousands of years. It's nothing new. Yes, you've now been exposed to toaster
But as long as toasters, at least, right?
Yeah, look, your toaster's
Before
safe.
then, it would have been by the fireside, right?
Yeah. Well, that's right. Yeah. So, but, and having that patience that not everybody has been exposed to all these things for as long as some other people have. Not everybody is ready is another thing to be exposed to that, because they might have just seen kettle fucking for the first time and then instantly they're exposed to toaster fucking and they're still trying to get over one thing. So,
and the big thing, right? No one's saying you have to fuck a toaster.
And your toaster doesn't have to be fucked.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly right. You can use your toaster for how you like. Maybe it's just making toast. Maybe you're a vanilla toaster owning motherfucker.
Maybe you only like
Maybe
raisin
it's like,
toast.
oh, I like my
instead of
toast. I don't. Some people like their toast well done, black. Some people like it slightly toasted. This is a bit golden.
Some people toast crumpets in there instead of toast in general. So
some people put Pop-Tarts in that bitch. You know, I'm not one of them. Some people put forks in there. Look, ultimately,
I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Each to their own.
Each to their own. However, putting forks in electrical appliances is fucking
Dave and Vinno
dangerous.
show does not recommend you put forks inside you. Now, look, there are situations you could do. If you unplug that toaster, mother fork that toast.
There is
toaster, you know
safe ways to do it.
Yeah. There are, and this is not where you learn it. This show, we're not experts in it, but we do just support and are in solidarity with the TF community, the toaster fuckers. And like we're saying, just be nice to people. I think that's the thing. It's just accepting that people are different as fuck. I think that, like you said, there's an influx in all these new people that we're learning about because we live in a rural area, or we live in a small area, or we live in a very culturally undiverse area. So then when something else comes in, yeah, it's shocking, yeah, it's weird, yeah, it's new, but you can still be you, boo. You know, still be you, dude. Just as long as that other person's not hurting you.
And that's the big thing, and that's a huge point. Like, but if something that somebody else is doing is not hurting you, or it's not going to hurt you, then chill the fuck out. Obviously, if it's going to hurt you, or is hurting you, or if affecting you to the point where, you know, you're causing you harm, then yeah, okay, talk about it. But well, you can talk about it either way, but you don't need to get so up in arms and violent and aggressive to things that aren't going to fucking hurt you. Just let people enjoy things, for one.
Yeah. The mad world. We're not here for long, dudes.
No.
Let people be happy, you know. Just we're getting too argumentative. But before our break, before we give you an advertisement for the best plumbing and gas service in the goddamn Hunter Valley and surrounding regions, motherfucker. Let's finish off on the presidential candidates. Right, yes. Kanye. So obviously Kanye,
not a chance.
He walked off. Yeah, of course. He walked off the Tim Pool show because there was a tiny bit of pushback. He can't be president or run in a presidential nomination and run away, get questioned by the first thing. He was on Alex Jones today or the day before, and Alex Jones was visibly awkward because of how much Kanye was like, I like Hitler. There was some great things, you know, like Hitler did. Oh, the Nazis weren't that bad. Like, I'm tired of the Jews. You know, like the stuff he's going further and further, which makes me think he's either a psyop and like, you know, an I'm Not There documentary with Joaquin Phoenix. Where they kind of were, if he's not that, then there's three options, right? So there's that. He's a psyop and he's part of some funny behind the scenes Sacha Baron Cohen style thing to see how far he can drag right wingers just to have the top celebrity in the world on their side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe that would be fantastic, but I don't think that's it. And another thing is that, which is the most likely one, this is why I'm putting it in the middle, which is that dude has been off his medication. He's severely affected by bipolar. He's going down rabbit holes. He's delusions of grandeur, which are entirely normal for someone who has bipolar disorder. And now he's been taken for a ride, and people are using him to pander to his community and to just have a celebrity on their side.
Yep.
Or there's the third one, that Kanye is literally the next coming of a movement of anti-Semitic people, and a serious movement of them that can do damage. I don't think he's smart enough to have that.
No.
But then again, I didn't think that of Trump, and he has one of the most solid right-wing communities on the planet right now, really. And I thought Trump was a fool. I thought he was a calamity of a fool. And he is. He is in a lot of ways. He really is,
man.
But we've people in our country, Vinno, that give a shit about Trump. They love Trump. They want an Aussie Trump.
They do.
He elevated, just by being Trump, he elevated Pauline Hanson and One Nation and the right wing and Fraser Anning and all them. He elevated them just by a worldwide movement of
hatred,
of demagoguery, hatred, and narcissism. Horrible. I don't know why people want to be part of it. It's definitely not Christian. But Kanye,
look,
in 1 year, where do you see Kanye in 1 year from now?
All right, So I would agree, and the scary thing is, I think 2 and 3 go hand in hand. Okay, I think he is severely mentally ill and potentially undiagnosed or off his medication. The dangerous thing about that is people are getting entertainment from it. They think it's either funny, they're jumping on board and using him. That potentially could lead into number 3, as you said. These people that are pushing for those sorts of movements will probably jump on top of that because, yes, they have that big name celebrity on board, right? So I feel sorry for the man because he like when it comes to music and things that he has done for the industry, huge, right? He has got a god complex, and I think that obviously comes from the ego, but the amount of exposure and
his
pressure,
bipolar disorder,
and this is what I'm leading to. So I think the amount of exposure and publicity he had over the Kim Kardashian breakup, all that sort of stuff. I think
Pete Davidson, by the way, everybody, a Jew.
Yeah.
Now I'm not planting any seeds here, but
that's where it's kicked off from, right? Because
maybe I would hate Jews too.
He was a bit crazy prior to that. When I say crazy, he was out there, bit of an out there character. This has started him spiraling downhill, and if you look at any of your friends, mates over the years who have had a really bad breakup and they spiral down, they have a bad time. When you've got the availability to money and stuff that this man has, and you've got the following and the voice that he has, it can become extremely dangerous. In 12 months' time, I see, unfortunately, I think I've got 2 predictions. Either Kanye will settle down, and this is the most unlikely one of those. He will settle down.
That's the best scenario, though. You're right. That is the best scenario for everybody, including Kanye.
Yeah. But I think this is going to end in 2 ways. He will either settle down, get help, or someone will come to him, one of his close friends or something, and come to him and get him assistance. I think the other scenario, which is more likely than not, is that in 12 months' time, Kanye could possibly either be dead or extremely sick or ailing, because I think if he's on a path of destruction at the moment. I think before it gets to the point where he causes that movement or is heavily involved in that, he will get to the point where he does harm to himself and he dies in the form of either drugs or does some pretty wild shit, which he does, and that's going to lead to his demise, unfortunately. I hope it's number one.
Prediction.
I hope it's number one. However, I just don't see, when you look back at celebrities who have needed help in these sorts of situations in the past, it hasn't ended well for them. And they've ended up with the second scenario more often than not. So,
well, okay, grim, but
I know it's grim, and I don't,
very possible.
I don't want it to happen, but that's just where I see it.
So I think this all. So remember, Kanye was quite a great hip hop artist. Was pretty all about his own people, African American people. He was the guy who stood up and during the hurricane and was like, George Bush hates black people. Well, now you can see George Bush getting up on stage and go, Kanye West hates Black Lives Matter. He hates the Jews. You know what I mean? George Bush could call him a hypocrite now. But I think where all this started was after Taylor Swift. The thing, you remember at the Music Awards when he took her? All this started when Barack Obama, when they said, oh, what do you think about what Kanye did? And Obama said, oh, he's such a jackass. I think Kanye went, You know what I mean? I think he felt betrayed because that's what, you only have to say one thing about these dudes and they'll hate you forever.
Yep.
And I think then he turned anti-Obama and he's going to be friends with anyone who was pro-Obama. Same with Trump. Trump was the biggest one of the biggest, like he's given more money to the Clintons than anyone. He was for Hillary Clinton versus Obama in 2008. He was during the primaries, he was Clinton, Hillary. It's so funny to think. And he was out spreading in the New York magazines the pictures of Obama in a fucking dashiki and African thing, saying he's a secret Muslim and all. And that's where all that started. Then when Obama didn't give him his, like, whatever, he stayed there. You know, he was still in that fucking Obama thing. And I think that's what happened with Kanye. Then his mother died, who was a very grounding influence on him, kept him grounded. Then obviously, I think it was, I think to be with someone like Kim Kardashian, who is not only a global beauty, like she is, whether you like her or I like her, she's considered that global beauty. She's well sought after. There's also lewd videos of her with other dudes out there. You got to be a very secure person to be with someone like Kim Kardashian. Okay, you do. You've got to be. I'm secure in my sexuality, dude. I'm a, you know, and I think he's tremendously jealous, angry because she's been with fucking athletes and
man,
fucking bigs. And Kanye West is just this fucking, you know, he's just turned into this pathetic thing, you know. So I think that's happened. The fact that she left him and then he went, which what happens with a lot of guys, for better or for worse, men go down different crazy paths after that type of thing, and it can end very, very badly. And in a way, he's kind of in the middle of the road, right? He didn't go good either. He was stalking her. He was buying houses across the road from her. He was publicly threatening anyone near her. He was, right now, he talks about her being in with the Jews now, like the whole Kardashian family, and he's talking about porn being the worst influence on planet Earth, and the reason, and the Jews are behind the porn too. Jesus, Kanye. So I think all that, and then the fact that he put the red hat on, and then, you know what he got for a big long time? He got a whole load of people who were like, we love you for that, Kanye.
Yeah. He got
so
support,
many people like, and then he got his president. So now all of a sudden, Obama didn't like him. Jay-Z and Obama, they're all friends. They're Beyonce, they're all going out. Now I got my president, motherfucker. And Trump had him there, and the people loved him for wearing the red hat. They said he was brave. He's never been considered brave and strong and tough or anything like that. You know what I mean? And now he's getting that's the badass shit. That's the counterculture. That's the punk rock. I mean, Sid Vicious used to wear a swastika on his chest. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, part of music was to shock. And so he took that, and either way, adding it all up, he's off his meds. He's easily led. He will be, anyone that gives him the time of the day and compliments him, just like Trump, he will latch onto. I think these people like Candace Owens, fucking, what's his name? Nick Fuentes, Milo Yiannopoulos, they see him as, I know how to coddle him, I know how to tickle his balls and keep him on my side, and I know how to feed him. These are smart guys. Milo Yiannopoulos is one of the fucking, I was a fan of him as a debater. I loved his debating skill. He's a witty British gay dude. Now, obviously, he says he's straight now. He divorced his husband, and he's a product of Pray the Gay Away. But he is a smart, he's a smart dude. Milo, and Nick Fuentes as well, America First, and what he's been able to do by the age, what is he, 24, 23 or something?
He's only young.
He's only a kid, and he's leading the alt-right and the incel army and all these guys for a long time, and they're all coming together now, and they're latching on to Kanye, because Kanye, the people he's dissing right now, the Jews, he has more Instagram followers than are Jews in existence right now. And here's my prediction for a year with Kanye. There was those three are possible. There was a fourth one I didn't want to say. It is entirely possible that Israel might want to say, you know what? But since Israel was formed, they've been sending people around the world to kill Nazis. And that's what they do. Yep. They kill Nazis. And if you're gonna go around with your supporters that dwarf us as a people in size, maybe they, you know what I mean? Maybe they do something. Israel remembered the last time this happened when a real popular dude that everyone says was off his head and he wouldn't get anywhere, and a lot of people that put Hitler in power thought he was a buffoon that could see lead.
Yeah.
That was a big thing about, and it turned out no, he was ready to put the hammer down, kill those people before they were able to talk sense in, or to form an opposition against them.
So you're saying there's a good chance he could be assassinated, taken out?
He might manifest his own destiny.
Yep.
There's only so much you can say. He could, you know what I mean? Like, before these people, okay, well, he's a fucking legitimate threat. Okay. And I hope that doesn't happen. But they've killed a lot less people for a lot less states all around the world. America, us, fucking Britain, Iran, Saudi Arabia with Khashoggi, Israel, African countries, they'll do it every day.
Yeah.
Okay, Putin kills his political opposition, reporters that talk shit about him. This is the way of the world. I think there's a possibility that he might fly too close to the sun. And that's not because the sun's bad. It's because you're fucking with something very powerful that will hurt you if you threaten its existence. And I think, fuck, bad time to popularize anti-Semitism. But at the same time, in America, the Jews are they are the top most persecuted and hate attacked people. Most hate crimes against religious people in America are against Jews. That's rising right now. It used to be Muslims. Now, and they're already a people that like. And
well, there's only so much that will take, isn't it? Like,
well, I love Palestinian people, and I do believe Palestinians have a claim to the land of Palestine. You know what I mean? However, so do the Jews. Jews are a tribe, like the Yazidis, like the Aztecs, like the Mayans, they have an indigenous land that you can check their DNA where they come from. And the Romans in 60 BC or whatever it was, kicked them out of Judea, said, you can't live here. And they ran to the corners of the world. And everywhere they went, people said, you're not from here. When they went to even Ukraine, who we love and support right now, Ukraine killed hundreds of thousands of Jews.
Yep.
Russia, Germany, Poland. You look around the world, anywhere they went and anywhere they were sent, they're like,
they've
you're
been
not from here.
persecuted in every country that they've attempted to migrate to.
Yeah. And when the Romans took it from them, they called it Palestine to disassociate it with the people of Judea. They then, it became part of the Byzantine Empire, then it became part of the Turkish Empire, then it became part of the British Empire, and then after World War II, they said, okay, the Brits said, okay, but you can have it. And then when they said you can have it, there was a UN resolution. They were like, okay, cool, we can have it. And then the day after it, they were attacked by all their neighbors, and they took fucking parts of Egypt and Jordan and all that kind of shit. And for peace, they gave up part of it, and then they slowly gave up different parts of it, and then they made offers to give the Palestinians then, who were been bolstered by other people, and you know, people who are ethnically from that land too and have a claim to that land. They offered them a Palestinian state on numerous occasions, but because of Hamas and even the PLO at Arafat, they could have had a Palestinian state in the year 2000, 2003. They turned that down. And just as the Palestinians have a right to live in that part of the world, so do the Jews, and they've been chased all around the world. The one place on earth you can't say to Jews, you know, you don't belong here, is Judea, is the lands of Israel. And I think that they're in the corner now. They're backed up. They're in there now, and I think it's very, very scary for them. And they have to think.
I think because there's a lot of, and especially, you know, post World War II.
All my Palestinian friends out there, I'm sorry for saying so much love and sticking up for the Israelis, but it's a two-sided issue. It's a very in-depth issue, and they have a right
because
to.
It's
they have a right to defend themselves, and a right to, and they have a claim to that land too. And my dream would be for that land to be somewhere where Jews and Muslims and Christians, but mainly Jews and Muslims at this time, and Palestinians and Israelis, whoever you want to call, live in harmony. And there's actually a dude who you want to check out if you want to see the Israeli side of it. Because obviously there's very right-wing Israeli side of things. That's easy to get, like the Netanyahus and the Likud party. But Rudy Rockman is a Israeli. He's a Zionist, so he is someone who believes that the Jews have a right to form a homeland in Israel. But he's someone that reaches out and does a lot of work with Palestinians about having tearing down the walls, eliminating any kind of second-class citizen issue, and he's looking for peace. And there's a lot of people out there that are looking for peace, a lot of Palestinians too. So it's not just Hamas either. Palestinians aren't just Hamas. But yeah, Kanye's getting involved with some crazy shit, and these people don't play.
They've had enough of playing. This is the thing, and post World War II and post the Holocaust, right? And we saw that with what you were talking about with the Nazi hunters, traveling around the world to prosecute people that had done terrible things to the Jews. Like that, they'd had enough at that point, because yes, there is a long history of them being persecuted. So you can understand them saying, fuck this, we've had enough, we're back where we want to be, or where we're from, fuck off, leave us alone. And as you said, there's that Palestinian claim to that as well, because there has been such a long period of time since them being wrongfully evicted from their lands. So it is a very, very complex and difficult topic to talk about. You see, and I don't know a hell of a lot about it to be able to go, well, this person's right, that person's right,
They both have a claim for that land.
They do both have a claim, right?
They're both right in a lot of ways. They both have a claim for that land.
Yeah, and there's
arguments on both sides, but there's little babies getting blown up.
Yeah, there is. And this is the sad thing about it. Both their religions teach harmony and love, and being one, right? So this is where religion fails, in my opinion, in that, because what they're taught to believe, and it gets broken down by the barrier of different religions, even though I don't know that there's any religion that teaches flat out, like openly flat out, go and fucking kill them. You could have that argument with
you can look,
and this is what I mean.
Read
this is
those
what I
books.
say. This is what I mean. There's nothing that openly says that. If you read into the Bible, you read into the Quran, right? It talks about violence against people. But if you go to a church or a mosque, they're not going to be standing there going, right, everyone leave here, walk down the street to find the first Jew or the first Muslim or whatever and kill them. Nobody's openly teaching that, right? So it's
look, there is.
I say that because I only know
there really is on both sides.
I don't know what's being taught over there. I don't know what's being taught over there.
There's some horrible things, and you're like, but I know what you mean. There's
the basis of their religion so many good. is good, right? However, it gets misconstrued and cherry picked and those sorts of things. So I don't know. It's
look, we're not going to solve.
But back
Israel,
to Kanye
Palestine.
with Oh, look, that is a strong
1 year.
possibility.
Do you think that he gets? Do you think he gets got? Do you think he fades away? Do you think he rises up, or do you think he?
And I didn't even consider what your take was until you said it, but I'm still strong in the sense that I think that in 12 months' time he will be deceased. That could look like
will be Epstein.
Him, yeah. So he could run himself into the grave. He could be put in the grave and made it look to be him putting himself there. It could be just quite open and a bit of a statement with him being assassinated, sort of thing. So What I do know.
Head to a
what
break.
I do know is
Yeah.
my back teeth are floating, man. Like I need a break.
I need to pee. But here, everybody, I just want you to check out this ad for a fucking fantastic plumber and an all-around good guy. Prestige Plumbing and Gas.
Do you have a leak? Maybe need a new install? Or got a nasty blockage? Then you need Prestige Plumbing and Gas. Whether it's in or outside your home or business, Prestige Plumbing and Gas have you sorted. With the wealth of knowledge and professionalism that you deserve, Prestige Plumbing and Gas will have the job done right the first time. Guaranteed. You don't want to let yourself get caught out by dodgy workmanship. You want honest, reliable, and quality tradesmen to put your mind at ease. So make Prestige Plumbing and Gas your first choice. Operating in the Hunter region, Prestige Plumbing and Gas are the right choice for your home or business. Call Sean on 0401 726 336 and make the right choice. Prestige Plumbing and Gas.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. That was a word from our sponsors, Prestige Plumbing and Gas. What a business. What a man.
What a bloke.
Support him. Supporting
He
you.
does good tiling
Now.
too. Just gonna fucking say that.
Oh, he can do it all. He can do it all.
Can do it all. Don't
The man can
don't tell him
dance,
that.
you know. Yeah. The man can dance. But Vinno, we're predicting for the future.
We
We're
are?
pretty heavy in the first one. We might go heavy again a little bit, maybe little bits of heavy, but maybe we'll go in a different direction. What prediction would you like to pull from us now?
All right. So I'm gonna go, and this is a question for you, and for one of our. I know he's going to be keeping up to date with all of this, Colin. The short-term one, not 12 months down the track. 12 months down the track, we may be talking about it. For the next 4 years, we might be talking about it. Who's your prediction for the World Cup?
I had
Soccer,
that was my one I was going to ask. Yeah, that was one. Do you want me to go first or you?
Yeah, you go
That's
first.
a perfect one.
You go first.
I think I'd love for Australia to win it, but obviously Australia's not going to win it. But you never know. Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. You've got all these teams that are beating. Who beat Spain? Someone beat Spain the other day, and
Is it 12? First time in 12 or 15 years that Australia's gotten into the next rounds.
Could be
out of the
could
group.
be. It's pretty big stuff.
2006, I think it was. 2006 World Cup was when.
I don't pay attention enough to it. I've been to piss Colin off. I've been sending him footballs coming home memes and stuff like for England winning. Football's coming home. It's coming home. Like, but so a part of me would like England to win it because I know it would just be huge and fun and hilarious. But then another part of me's like, England,
fuck them.
and then and because but I don't know, like Brazil might win it. Fucking like, Brazil. Germany just beat Israel 7-0. So Germany could win it. I don't know. Who do you think? Because I haven't been paying attention to it, in all honesty. All I know is that Albo said we would get a fucking public holiday if Australia won. So I want the Socceroos to fucking do their thing. You know what I mean? And get me one more day off.
What I did like, or what was good to see, was the reaction to that goal from Australia's last game. When they scored, you know, there's videos all over the internet of people across the country reacting, and it's cool. Like I don't follow soccer/football. I obviously, when there's World Cup or anything on, you know, pay attention, and it's all over the place at the moment. So it was cool to see people enjoying something that they love, to the point where that reaction was just insane. You know, it's part of the culture, I think. Football being intense, and so many people around the world love it. It's the biggest sport in the world. So to see that reaction here and seeing that that result and moving into the next stages. You know, the first time I think it was 2006 was when they the last time they broke out and
He's would have had
really well.
Kuhl and Viduka and fucking all them.
It was
Tim Cahill.
2006. Lost to Italy, and it was a pretty contentious. I know there was a lot of people annoyed because
No shame in losing to Italy in football.
No, well they won that.
You know?
They won that that year. So
Them or Germany won? Italy won, did they?
Italy won. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, from memory. I might be wrong.
Oh, here. Yeah, who's your prediction to win? I just said Brazil because fuck it. That's just handy.
Who is it that Messi plays for?
He plays for Argentina, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's how little I follow it. But I've got my money on them after seeing some of the shit that he's pulled.
Lost to Saudi Arabia, but that might have been PR for Qatar at the moment. Fucking Qatar is fucking.
Dude.
They're having a bad World Cup, dude. Obviously,
It
like
is not
with all the
good.
gay stuff, like not letting people with rainbows in, then making the stadium non-alcoholic, so it's a known.
Budweiser taking them to court. Yeah.
Well, a lot of people thought when they were going that it would have similar, because over there they have rules for hotels in certain places and embassies where you're allowed. So they thought that would be extended to the World Cup because it's the fucking World Cup, and obviously there's human rights abuses. There's a lot of people that died making the whole thing. So there's a lot of issues there. I don't know. It's obviously Iran as well. All that's happening as well with Iran in the background. They're having a bit of uprising about women wanting the option to wear a hijab, and that's bleeding into football as well to the World Cup, because the World Cup is one of these places. And what I love about it, the same as the Olympics, it's like everywhere's at war, everywhere hates each other, we're all fucking dicks. But this is one place where we can come together and play a game in peace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's usually,
And
it's just a great thing.
There's
you know?
good-hearted banter. Well, that's the thing. And I
Yeah,
mean,
but
obviously, people go too far, but there's that banter, there's that rivalry. There's the one I have enjoyed is between USA and England. You know, there's USA have got some fucking terrible chants, and England traditionally, and they've shown it this time around, have got some really, really clever chants. But yeah, just seeing that back and forth between Americans and the Poms is funny to watch from us sitting here, especially, you know, for me, who don't as I said, don't follow soccer closely or
me
anything.
neither. Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun.
Are you going Argentina?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Argentina.
Oh,
I
cool.
reckon they're
Well, both South America. Look at us go.
It would be cool, and we might have to put some money on the table, mate, if it's Brazil and Argentina in the
I don't know if I fucking.
Yeah, that might have to be the.
Pay $20 Brazil over Argentina. Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
$20, and whoever ends up closest to the top gets it.
You can't. I don't think you can base it off the group stage, because you look at America. They had no prediction to even come close to drawing with England, right? And they both walked out of there 0-0. So I think it's one of those sports and one of those competitions where
I'm going to change
so
mine.
much upset.
Germany.
Cool. All right.
I'll go Germany. That way we'll go Europe. And because I've been talking so much good stuff about Israel, it's only fair I go back to their enemies and support them in some way. But there we talk about you letting some shit slide in the group stages. Germany beat Israel 7-0. So they're not playing around even in the group stages. They're fucking there to win. Germans generally don't play around anyway. And
they're not known for historically.
Hey,
we're only joking.
We're only joking, Germany. Yeah.
Historically, they don't.
Unless it's Oktoberfest, of course, which it isn't, unfortunately, right now. But that's that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
you got our
short-term
predictions.
one.
Now,
What's your next one?
Metallica released a track for their new album that's coming out in May next year. Will that album be well received? I think so. I like their new track Oxyternal. I think it's fucking a return to that kind of speed metal punk power, like, you know, power metal-y speed punk type of sound they had. And I really, really liked it. It was a bit of a half-ass solo from Hammett, but I liked it. It was kind of a Kill 'Em All vibe. Kill 'Em All / It's Electric Diamond Head vibe. I thought they... Oh, did you hear the new song?
I haven't heard it. However, I think... I don't think...
Well,
I'm
we should
going
pause right now so you could hear it. I wish we could do reactions, but Metallica will sue us.
I will definitely listen to it while I'm packing tomorrow, but I don't think Metallica can do any wrong by the diehard fans, in the sense that they're at that age now where they're immortalized. I think you're always going to have the gatekeepers that are sitting there going, oh, you know, they were shit after, or they were shit after Black Album, or, you know, all of that sort of stuff. Or when Black Album. Yeah, so, but they are a household name now. It's going to be a success, whether we think the album or the song is going to be good. So I think it's just, they're one of those bands. They're like Guns N' Roses, right? And I use Guns N' Roses.
They can be polarizing though, right?
Yeah.
With Saint Anger. When they release Saint Anger or Black Album or Load, every now and then Metallica have a good hit of albums that people are like, oh, okay, that's good. That's Metallica. And then they throw a spanner in the works. And then everyone hates Metallica, you know?
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, the track I've heard so far will keep Metallica fans so happy. Yep. It's that type of an album so far. But that can be one track and the rest of the album could be fucking electro swing. You know what I mean? Who knows what the fuck they pull on us, you know?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They're immortalized, right? So no matter whether they put something out, you're always going to, you're going to listen to Metallica. There is a Metallica song out there for everybody. So I think that they're just at that stage where they can't fail anymore. You know, they could release a track that is just James Hetfield taking a shit and people would love it. So fucking get out of my shit.
I don't know.
So they just I think that's an easy prediction.
Look, I know it's gonna sell well and all, and I know they've got staying power, but that song, man, I think you'll like it in particular because you're a little bit of a. It's got a little bit of a speed punk,
nice
type of speed metal trash vibe like they had in their early days. But anyway, kind of keeping it onto the same thing.
I know what's coming. Another thing
that's happening next year.
I know what's coming up.
There's another thing that's happening next year in the music metal industry that we're hoping will be well received. Well, some of us are hoping will be well received. The Pantera Reunion, new and improved, 50% better Pantera.
Just
reunion,
had to throw that there.
Better than ever. Oh man, I've been having so much fun online with Pantera heads.
Actually, before we go into this quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
Before we go in.
Because I know that you spend a lot of time online giving these people a hard time. Green Ranger passed away recently.
Oh man.
Did you?
Did. Tommy Oliver.
Yeah.
Green Ranger. I've been on there. Because if anyone doesn't know, I used to actually, a part of my hobby used to be going on to the Power Rangers fandom sites and fucking with them. So I'd be like, oh yeah, Rocky's the best Red Ranger. And everyone would be like, Jason's the best, you know. But the Green Ranger died. Jason died. This is his real name. Jason David. What's his name? Jason David.
Not Schmidt.
I'll tell you now.
Yeah, but look.
Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love the Green Ranger. I was a Power Rangers fan when I was a kid. When the Green Ranger first came in, he was a bad Power Ranger. He was evil. He was summoned by Rita. He was one of the new kids in school, Tommy. They gave him Rita's green crystal and fucking he had this fucking gold shield and he had a fucking little flute that could summon this dragon Zord, and he was badass.
Which he
as fuck,
played
and then
through
he
the
ended up,
fucking helmet.
dude, the green candle then, dude, the green candle melted. They got Tommy back on board. He joined the Rangers, and he ended up being the leader of them. And even in the movie, becoming the White Ranger. Fuck, like, you know, pretty fucking, you know, like, that's all I knew him from back when I was a kid doing that. Now I know that he'd been he'd been part of different Power Rangers series going on, and he ended up in the Black Ranger and the Red Ranger and all that kind of stuff in Zeo and Dino Force or whatever the fuck it was. But I never really paid attention. He was an MMA fighter too.
Yeah.
But he does have a movie coming out called, what is it, The Legend of the White Dragon, which is not official Power Rangers, but it's kind of like
Based off it.
like based off alternate. So that will come out, and that'll be received well.
I think so.
But it will be like a B grade movie. But yeah, rest in peace, Jason David Frank, Tommy Oliver, the Green Ranger. I love the Green Ranger. But yeah, so
sorry, it was just talking about Pantera and going into that, and I fucking clicked.
But I predict, because there was a Power Rangers remake not long ago that wasn't bad, but and they hinted at the end of it there was a green kid in like the end of credits scene.
Okay.
They showed, because they didn't have a Green Ranger, they had just the original Rangers.
Original 5.
And then at the end of it, they had a dude that like had the green backpack in the end. Oh, we've got a new kid. So it would be cool if they brought the Green Ranger in as a bad guy in the next movie who eventually they turn and all. Oh, take my fucking money.
Did you ever play?
Fuck Marvel.
Did you ever play the Power Rangers game on Sega?
Probably.
That was
man,
amazing.
I had a million of the games. I loved it. I had the power. I had Saba, which is which is the White Ranger's sword.
Yeah.
I had them all. I had the Power Rangers flippy heads where it would flip and it was just a normal head. You'd flip it and it would be the Power Ranger mask. I loved the Power Rangers.
I remember going and watching the live action show, man, and being fucking blown away down at Newcastle Entertainment Centre. Yeah, with friends of the family went down there. Fucking awesome.
And another thing, lads, the Green Ranger took his own life. That's how he went. There's lots of reasons behind what speculation about it. Like obviously the fan club is blaming his missus. Apparently they were having some issues and she'd asked him for a divorce or whatever. But dudes, fucking, it just goes to show you, even the Green Ranger, who has the power of both good and evil, still, man, what a struggle.
I don't think we can ever say it enough on this show, and is fucking help your mates out. Go and do those checks on your mates, and if you're not feeling right, like, don't ever be afraid to go and speak out. It's certainly not worth it. You're better off being
and after
being
the
here
breakups, eh?
Yeah, hard. Life's hard.
Just don't do it.
Pressures of life get the best of us sometimes, but it's never weak to speak. So,
and when there's life, there's hope, lads.
Yep.
If you're still alive and breathing, I know you might feel hopeless, but like Vinno said, reach out, talk to your mates, do things. It can get manageable. It can get better. It can get better. Always. Where there's life, there's hope. My mom told me that once. I always thought that was a good, powerful move.
Absolutely.
That, if you end it, you'll never know. And I know it's easy for us to say, you know what I mean? It's easy for people that didn't go through with it. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like,
the hard part is
hard
you
to put
pass
yourself
that,
in there.
You relieve yourself of that pain, and then, but you pass that on. And it's, I know that the misconception is that no one will care afterwards, but there is people that care. There is always people that care. So without getting too down and dark with it, look after yourselves. Go and get the help when you need it. And don't ever think that you're less of a person, and especially less of a man for going and talking about problems, because the worst end of that stick is certainly not worth it. And do the right thing by yourself and your families, and you are loved. That's the thing.
Yes.
Whether you think
But
so or not.
Yeah.
But back to
No, but to end it more on a positive note,
yes.
Jason David Frank,
Cheers.
you know, iconic
Fucking legend.
dude, there in our childhood. Good on you, bro. Yeah, sad. Got
It
kids.
is. Yeah.
But
yes.
yeah, Pantera, onto more angrier fucking subjects. Yeah, Pantera here. It's going to be good. It's going to be good seeing them opening up for different bands. I think they're opening up for Metallica and some European tours.
Yep.
You got obviously Zach Wilde and you got Zach from fucking Black Label Society. You got Charlie from fucking Anthrax. These are close family members. Yeah, I think it's going to be big and successful. The only thing, I think it will be great, but that's my prediction. However, there's an issue. Bill Anselmo has a habit of fucking shit up. He has a habit of getting out of it, like maybe relapsing and saying some crazy shit on stage that fucking ruins the whole thing.
Yep.
That's the only thing I think can ruin it for Pantera right now. And all you Blacktooth Grin, get your pull, Pantera, walk on home boys out there. I'm only fucking wishes about. We all love Dimebag. I was there. I was in high school when I heard about Dimebag dying. I was devastated. I loved him. I had a fucking Washburn fucking guitar. I love Dimebag, you know. And it was the Dimebag
just
series.
Trying to get a bite out of you.
Yeah, but I like fucking with yous, and you will be fucked with. And it is Pantera because it's not they're like, oh, it's not a reunion because Dime and Vinny aren't there. It's like, well, dude, you stop having a family reunion when your grandparent dies. Like, oh no, it's not. Now it's just a fucking. Now it's just a Papa Jimmy tribute. That's all it is.
You're talking
no,
chalk
it isn't.
And cheese there now, I think.
You know, a lot of bands out there. You know,
yeah.
If they make an album, that's different territory.
As we've discussed before, yeah.
I'll get too into it. Will it be successful, do you think, Vinny?
I think it will be received well. I think it'll be successful because there is a lot of people out there that have never, ever had the opportunity to see Pantera live. And there's a lot of old heads out there as well that would have been extremely disappointed. The news, you know, they'd split up, and equally as gutted when Vinny and Dimebag passed away. So I know, especially, or more so when Vinny passed away. I think it was the sentiment behind it. But in my news feeds and everything, there wasn't one person that wasn't talking about it or said that they were listening to Pantera songs in honor of him. So I think it's going to be received well. I think it's going to be a success. However, I'm with you. I hope they don't. I hope it is a success for them. However, I hope that they don't go, that's a success, so let's keep going and let's do something, you know, another album or something like that, because it just won't
they could
be
form a
Pantera.
different band or something from it.
There's plenty they
I
can
think
do, but
it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
It will be, like,
everyone's talking about, Vinny and Dime aren't there, but I think the beauty of this tour is they're going to bring them there. I know, because Zach Wilde is family.
I think
you know what I mean. I think they're going to put Dime on screen.
Yeah,
they're gonna talk. They're gonna be like, this one's for Vinny and Dime. They're gonna talk in between it about. It's gonna be about them. It's gonna be family, and I think it's gonna be they're gonna be. There's gonna be fucking tears and beers. You know what I mean? I think it's gonna be beautiful.
And they won't probably play it. I know that they will play, but I think the moment they play Cemetery Gates will be a pretty emotional moment in that. I know it is for anyone, you know, that likes Pennywise the band. Whenever they play Brohim live, you know, it's a huge song, because it's something that a lot of people can relate to. And Cemetery Gates for Pantera is that, especially with the first time they've played since one breaking up, and with Vinny and Dimebag passing away as well. It's going to be a being in that room would be just fucking electric in a different way. So, my prediction is it'll be a success. People will love it. I just hope that people don't ask for more, because that can be the pressure.
I'd let them tour forever.
That's what I mean when I say more, and like you touched on. I hope people don't ask for more records, because that just won't be the same. And as you said, they can.
I don't think they need to either. You know, I think they can tour as Pantera, do the old songs, you know, and then they can come out, because Phil's got the Illegals. He could reform Down or Superjoint Ritual. Zach's got fucking Ozzy Osbourne and Black Label Society and Zach Wilde. You know, they've all got their bands. You know what I mean? So, I think this was just. I think it's important to do this. You know what I mean? I think this is a little bit, because the families are involved. And here's the thing: people out there getting mad at this, like, it shouldn't be called Pantera, it shouldn't be called this. Like, sorry, dudes, you don't get to decide what grown ass men call their band. You don't. You just don't.
I feel attacked.
I
feel attacked.
And here's another thing as well. You know, like Vin and Dime left their rights to Pantera to their family. Right. So if you got a problem with the decisions been made with Vinny and Dime's family, you go take it up with Vinny and Dime. If you wanna say, you know what, fuck Vinny and Dime. If you wanna say that, sorry. But the new and improved, 50% better, 202% proof Pantera. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be beautiful.
New prediction for next year, and that is that you will fucking incite someone to violence with some of your comments.
You probably shouldn't. Out of all the bands and the fandom you could fuck with, probably shouldn't be Pantera fans.
Well,
I'll have
even
some skinhead fucking heroin addict trying to fight me soon. Are you gonna say something about Dimebag?
He loves it.
I've got the Phil fans on my side. The Phil fans are the scary ones, so don't worry. But here.
Right.
Now, do you have any more? I've got a couple more.
I did have... Oh, they were only small ones. I think we've touched on them pretty well. Cool. So I was trying to have a think while I was fucking packing boxes and doing paperwork and all that sort of shit today, but a lot of them, were based on current predictions for next year as far as the world goes and what we see it going to be. So,
yeah, I had a couple of them too, but I'm not going to get like are we going to have a cyber attack? Are we nuclear strike? Will we see a nuclear strike? Will there be a nuclear power plant disaster or a solar flare or another pandemic? But I think we kind of went. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like
we got more.
We kind of went doom and gloom out of the way. So I've got a couple of light-hearted ones.
All right, here we go.
Do you think? Well, not light-hearted. Maybe this one isn't too. Ozzy Osbourne, is he going to make it another year? Do you think by this time next year Ozzy Osbourne is still alive?
Look,
because I seen him recently and he did not look good. However, he did the latest Survivor Series, which is a wrestling event that happened the other week. They played War Pigs was the song for Survivor Series, because they have a match that they're playing called War Games, where 5 wrestlers go against 5 wrestlers in 2 rings that's in a cage. And Ozzy Osbourne now was not just, it was the old Black Sabbath song, but he was like, hello everybody, welcome to War Games, you know? And I was like, all right, Ozzy can still do a promo, but he's moved back to England.
He has.
He's looking frail. Because now they did say because they were pissed off about America and all that.
He was not happy with.
He didn't look good. But at the same time, Ozzy's looked like he's going to die since 1985.
And this is the question I was going to ask you. Who do you think is going to outlive who? Ozzy Osbourne or Keith Richards? Because Keith Richards is looking like he's
older, isn't he? Keith Richards is older.
Yeah, but he's looking like he looks like he's been dead for fucking 10 years and still going. Like I love the the memes that you see, that we need to start thinking about the sort of world that we're going to leave for fucking Keith Richards, because
Oh yeah, he's got whatever it is he's got.
he's just
The fountain of youth. Now look, I think both are famous for their drug use and their inebriation and their wildness and all. I just think Ozzy's younger, but he has done more. You know, he's done more crazy shit, and he has been an addict up until not long ago, and even still will relapse still. But Keith Richards is older, does look fucked. Keith Richards is fucked looking.
man.
But Jagger's looking great. You know what I mean? And Jagger's looking fucking
lips.
fantastic.
Oh, those lips. Look, I think celebrity predictions are fucking hard, right? Because
It's hard, yeah.
You've got
they should be dead already.
You've got some that just come right out of left wing. I mean, you had
Left field.
yeah, well, left field, all right. You had, you know, I think. Well, she's not a celebrity. You knew that we knew the Queen was getting on, right? Betty White was another one that we thought
That's
was going to
another good
live.
soccer song there singing ever.
What's that?
Yeah. Na 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 na. Lizzie's in a box, in a box. Lizzie's in a box. How do they get away with it?
Man,
So,
because
like,
it's how do you fucking go in there and arrest one? Like, if you arrest one, you got to arrest all of them, right? Because there's so fucking many. Like, you're in a crowd.
it's so fucking clever. Like they pick the funniest songs, like to
yeah.
yeah. But anyway, sorry.
But yeah,
Go on.
so you got, you know, David Bowie was one, you know, that was a surprise. There's been so many that
George Michael.
yeah.
He was very early. Yep.
Yeah, so we could sit here and go, oh yeah, righto. We'll use Ozzy and Keith and go, righto. Yeah, next year one of them will go, and then fucking 10 years later they're still kicking on, you know. But then somebody that you don't even.
What age are they?
I'm
I'm gonna have a quick look here. I'm gonna have a quick
look
look
up
later.
Keith. I think he was born. I can't remember the date now.
Let me just check here. Keith.
Look at him.
Keith.
I do
know,
it.
man.
I
Look.
do it, and my fucking screen lights up like the sun. So.
Keith Richards is 78 years old. So there's he could
He's
get a
still
decade.
young. Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? You know, Ozzy Osbourne age
24.
73. So Ozzy they're both in their 70s.
Yeah.
Keith's obviously fucking half a decade, like 5 years older than Ozzy. But they're relatively the same age. They're both going to be in England, I reckon. Oh, it's hard. Usually you put old people in fucking Miami or something like that to get them to 102, or China. Who will die first? I would think Keith Richards. But at the same time, because they're not going to die of overdosing.
No.
Probably, you know. But the damage they've done to their bodies, will that contribute to the death? Or are they those dudes? Are they the outliers? Who knows?
Are
They've
they those
got
guys that have?
I think they've got 10 years left in them each.
Yeah.
I think they'll both be alive by next year. Shane McGowan's still fucking alive, and he's fucked. He's fucked. He can't even talk, dude, and he's still alive.
Yeah, you just never know. Fucking.
You got the fucking Green Power Rangers dead. Motherfucker was. And another thing, you know, he was an MMA fighter too. There might have been CTE involved in that as well. Flashes to the head.
You never know.
I think he had like 5 professional fights. But I don't know. Do you think Ozzy makes it to this time next year?
I think he does.
Cool.
I
I
think
hope
he
he
does.
does. I fucking love Ozzy. We put him into the thumbnail of this too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that yet.
I did have a sneaky look, while I was waiting for the camera to charge up. Yeah. So, I think he does.
I hope he does.
I hope it's not a year like, was it last year where we just had fucking celebrity death after one after the other, and they were all good ones too, you know, where you're like, oh fuck, you know. The one that he hasn't passed away, but it blew my mind was Tim Curry.
Yeah, he's in bad. He had a fucking hell of a stroke.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's been in a wheelchair for years now. I think. Is he still in a wheelchair?
I'm not sure. I think it was 12 months after he'd had it that I've realised that he'd had it, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
They used
he's
to be.
visibly, his points are hard to talk.
He was
and
one of my
the last
favourite
time I seen
actors,
him.
man. Like he's just
Oh, dude,
fucking iconic.
Pennywise, Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
Dude,
well, even
and he was in Red
um,
Alert Command and Conquer, the
he
game
was.
as well.
my favourite role that he's played still to this day is Cardinal Richelieu out of Three Musketeers, the Disney one.
Yeah,
Yep.
Fucking,
Still to this
that's
day.
with Charlie Sheen,
Yeah,
Gerard
yeah.
Depardieu, Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a
no,
good.
Jeremy
oh,
Irons. Jeremy Irons.
Oh
was
no,
in
he was Man of the Iron
Mask.
Mask, was he? Yeah,
Fuck,
yeah.
another
I
one.
get them all
Another
mixed up.
great actor, man. He is just.
Oh, Jeremy fucking Irons, man. Jeremy, he's Scar.
Fuck.
And Alfred in the Batman movies was good at. But
Yeah.
fucking Die Hard with a vengeance.
Oh.
Jeremy fucking Irons, man, is the shit, man. He's beautiful.
Just a
But
fucking
obviously,
great
he'll always
actor.
be Scar to
He
me.
is
And
Scar.
Die Hard with a vengeance.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ozzy lives. Ozzy lives.
Ozzy lives.
Now, speaking Batman, within the next year, they will announce another Batman movie. Who do you predict will be the villain, and who would you like to play them?
Oh, I think this is easy for now. I think you're going to see the Joker in there as a backup from the last Batman movie. I think you'll see a combination of Joker and Riddler.
Again,
I think so, right? Because they're in Arkham Asylum at the moment, correct? From those last scenes. I can't remember the actor that we spoke about. Well,
Barry Keoghan
for
played
Joker.
the Joker.
Yeah.
And Paul Dano for the Riddler.
Yeah, so I think you'll see a return of Paul Dano. He did a fantastic job, man. It was so serial killer.
He was Zodiac,
fucking
man.
Zodiac, yeah.
Fuck.
So I think you're going to see a combination of those two, and I think from that they will lead into maybe some other villains. I don't know who they will bring in. I honestly didn't anticipate the Joker making another appearance.
And the deleted scene of the Joker they left out of the movie was fucking awesome. It was so much better than the scene they left in.
See, this is what made me think there won't be a Joker, right? Because since Heath Ledger, in my opinion, and some of them have been good, the Joker's been overdone, right? So you had Heath Ledger, you had Joaquin Phoenix, did a fantastic job, right?
Fantastic.
You had Jared Leto,
Jack Nicholson before him, Jared Leto.
But I'm talking since Heath Ledger.
Since Heath
Ledger, right? Which was such an iconic. Jack Nicholson was as well, but since Jack Nicholson, you had, we had Penguin with
Vito.
Danny DeVito. You also had Tommy Lee Jones, Two-Face. You had Jim Carrey as the Riddler. So there was a big break. You had Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. There was a big break between Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, right? And then after Heath Ledger, you've got Jared Leto, you've got Joaquin Phoenix. There's been a lot. Like when I say a lot, in a very short space of time, I felt that the Joker had almost been overdone. And I know he is one of the favourite villains.
He'll be involved regardless.
He will be, right?
In the background in Arkham or something, he
in
will
the
be involved.
background of the Dave and Vinno show, even. But yeah, but
he's there twice because that's Batman in his rogues gallery there, so all the bad guys are there. But I agree with you. I think they'll be there. I just don't think they'll be the. I think both of them will be in Arkham, and in the movie. But I think there'll be another main villain.
I think they will lead into another main villain, maybe. The way they ended that movie, I just don't. They're either going to get released by another villain, or they are going to create another villain in there between the two of them, right? It might be the start of another story for another one of them. My question to you would be, do you think we will see Robin or someone come in to assist Batman? Because we didn't see...
It's hard to do Robin.
It is, but we haven't seen him since
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever.
Well, no, Batman
and
Robin.
Batman and Robin,
Yeah.
which was with George Clooney, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
Chris O'Donnell was Robin.
So you didn't
The
see him
problem with
throughout the
Robin
whole
is
Dark
that
Knight series,
it
although
doesn't
it did
work.
lead.
Well, yeah, there was kind of a Joseph Gordon-Levitt was kind of alluded to
Yeah.
being a type of Robin that would be taking on the mantle as maybe a Nightwing or something, which the original Dick Grayson did turn into. But here's I think it would be hard to bring in Robin because of how realistic Matt Reeves is trying to make this world, and to bring a kid into that type of violence. I think it could be done, but I think it would be very hard to do it and still keep it realistic.
Do you think it
My
could be done
opinion-
maybe 2 movies time?
Maybe, but it's hard to bring in a kid to have Batman. Okay, Batman, we like you. You're a good person. You're allowing this child to fucking get into. You know what I mean? It's very weird, and I can't see Robert Pattinson's Batman adopting a kid even.
That's
You know,
what
he
I
doesn't
mean.
have that
Maybe in
elder
2 movies,
statesman
2
type of
movies
vibe
time
that-
because they
yeah.
could break up the time frame.
Well, I would see a Robin in the likes of Ben Affleck's Batman before
Yeah,
I would see it. And even actually, there was a Robin in that one because the Joker killed him. Because remember, in the Batman v Superman and all, he has the Robin outfit that has the Joker spray paint on it.
Yep.
So I think you would probably get the Jason Todd Joker who was killed, Robin, sorry, that was killed by the Joker that ended up coming back as the Red Hood, and then but anyway, in this series of Batman, Matt Reeves is Robert Pattinson's Batman. I don't think you will get a Joker. I mean a Robin now.
Right.
I think it could happen, but I think it would be hard. I think that what they should do is Mr. Freeze. Mr. Freeze in the
it's forecast. It's for free.
Well, yeah. The escapades. Well,
I will
he
never
ruined
fucking
it.
forget that.
But in the animated
didn't.
series,
He may have ruined it, but Huey made it fucking
oh,
immortal.
when we were kids, dude, that was a great movie. I
It was.
loved that the movies, but if they treat it like they did in the animated series, there's an episode that introduces Mr. Freeze in the Batman the animated series, who Kevin Conroy just died. Another rest in peace. The Batman voice from the animated
he
series.
did too.
He
Yeah.
died. Him and Mark Hamill, they were the Joker on Batman when I was a kid, for the sound, for the voice, just perfect. But Mr. Freeze and that in Heart of Voice was the episode, and wow, Mr. Freeze was he's a serious, smart doctor dude, you know, and why he's so conflicted is because he's trying to save his wife. And it can be it's such a powerful story, the Mr. Freeze story, and it can be done realistic and well. You know, it can be done crazy with Schwarzenegger. But I think if they got like a Mads Mikkelsen or Christoph Waltz, you know, Christoph Waltz from Inglourious Bastards and Django Unchained, they got one of those actors who could come in and do freaking Freeze.
But
oh,
see,
it'd be so good.
This is the thing with
And
that.
he's smarter than
With
Batman.
that series, or
Smarter.
with that movie, or if this was a series, right? So you look at the Riddler, and the way they've portrayed the Riddler is completely beyond expectations and played a completely different way. They've turned it in a way that is very, like you said, realistic and dark. How do you see Mr. Freeze being brought into that, and what sort of character? So we saw
Terrorist.
the Riddler, terrorist type situation. You reckon?
Yeah, I think he will have his, he will have developed his freezing technology, whether it's sort of guns and bombs or whatever he is. Gotham's just after going through massive floods at the end of the first movie, which kind of sets it up for the fucking freeze.
Very cold.
Okay, you know what I
winter.
mean? Yeah, that's right. And I think seeing Batman in that kind of a winter vibe and having this young Batman have to go up against a proper scientist who's fucking furious, and kind of like in The Rock with Ed Harris's character in The Rock, you know, or Mr. Freeze in Heart of Voice. He you know, he is someone who's very smart and is on a mission to cure his wife. You know what I mean? Like, I think it could be done so beautiful, and that character of Mr. Freeze is cool and calculated. You know what I mean? And I think you got Mads Mikkelsen, Christoph Waltz, Michael Fassbender. Like, I really treated it serious. I think Bryan Cranston. Fucking so if you got Walter White from Breaking Bad to be Mr. Freeze, like you could have it serious, like, because he's a bad guy.
He's already got
who
that
has
stereotype around him, doesn't he? Like that survival.
well, the bald head is the only reason you'd be like,
no.
Bryan
But because of his, like, Breaking Bad, with that whole story about and how
he's bad. Well,
how he dives into being bad, right? It's
Mr. wrong
Freeze
for the right reasons.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Do you reckon we'll see Colin
So
Farrell
I'd love
back
that.
as Penguin?
Oh, well, he's going to have his own TV series.
Yeah.
Do you know that? So they're going to have. I loved Colin
He
Farrell.
was
as
fucking
Penguin.
amazing. The reason I brought it up, I
Fucking
was
so
watching a
good.
video earlier, and you still can't fucking pick with the makeup on that is
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, that is a sexy man underneath all that. And he's like a mix of Tony Soprano, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci. Like, he is this proper gangland fucking dude. Actually, that series might be coming out. So another prediction, I think that's going to be amazing. Because I think that TV series is how they're going to build the base of Gotham. So you can have the lower level criminals and have Batman kind of in and out slightly in the shadows, and kind of have them build the underworld.
Do you reckon it will
if they do it
explain
right-
a bit of the backstory leading up to the movie? Because when, like, in the movie,
It's supposed to take
He's already
off the week after the movie. TV. So it'll be Falcon's taken out.
Yep.
The Penguin's going to try. There's a power vacuum.
Yep.
Gotham. So the Penguin's going to try and consolidate and take his to become the big guy. Did they bring Maroni in then? Did they bring different gangsters in? Did they bring different villains in that he has to deal with? The Penguin to try and become the main bad guy.
they might
of
set
Gotham.
the scene for the next movie with a villain.
Or they will have to. If they don't, they're idiots. Like,
Well,
like,
yeah.
I think, yeah.
They could
They
fill
can
in,
use that
they could use-
weekly show
Yeah.
to advertise the movie.
use the movie to fill in gaps for the TV show to keep it rolling on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Maybe you have a Dr. Crane shows up, like the Scarecrow, and he's just
Maybe.
a normal doctor, and he's like, something's going on in Arkham. All these people are going psychotic, and this doctor, every time he leaves them fucked. Who is, like, they could have that. They could, they could bring in so many different characters. They could have the Riddler still operating from his jail cell because he's got all his minions out there.
yeah.
Like, you could have him still doing bombs and being a terrorist. They could have the Joker's crew build up. They could have so
Arnold
much stuff.
Schwarzenegger make a return.
Oh man, they could have Batista as Bane. That's who I would
Oh.
like, because Bane's supposed to be
That's a
an
big-
Hispanic wrestler.
They're big
And
shoes
fucking
to fill,
Batista.
though, after Tom Hardy.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy was a complete reimagining of Bane. He was this kind of Englishman who was,
Yeah, but
you know what I
he
mean?
was-
It was realism and it was good, and they made him part of the League of Shadows. But you could have an opportunity to do Bane again, more comic realistic. You know
Well,
what I mean?
they've done that
and
already,
They kind of brought
haven't
the
they?
Venom in, right? They brought the Venom in Batman, the first Batman movie. Remember,
Yeah.
Batman fucking injects himself, and all of a sudden he's like, "Brr!"
That's
and he's
right.
like taking shotgun shots to the chest and fucking going psycho.
Well, maybe Bane might be the next villain.
It could be like that's
Could
what I
very
mean.
much
There's
be.
so many. There's the well, they've already done the Riddler, the Scarecrow. They could bring Ra's al Ghul back into it. There's so many people that they could bring into it. It's going to be funny, and Catwoman as well. What a fucking Zoe Kravitz is gorgeous as Catwoman. They could flesh that out and actually give her a proper costume.
Yep.
Maybe she's, like, because they gave us proto Catwoman, beta Catwoman, like a little bit before. She was more of just a mask at the time.
Home job type thing.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited for the new movie. But you know what's another new movie? The Joker Part 2.
Yeah.
What's it called? Fleur de Fleury or something like that. And that's going to have Lady Gaga, who is an Oscar-nominated actress. as
Really?
Harleen Quinzel. Yeah, for that movie she
right.
did with Bradley Cooper.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
the country
Yeah, and they got
she's
the
a good
theme
actress.
song. Yep.
And she's batshit. And she's an Italian chick from New York. That's what Harley Quinn is.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. G, Mr. J. You know what I mean? She could do that. Her real name is like Maria. She's got a mad Italian name.
Yep.
It might actually be, what do they call her little monsters? What's she called them again? What are Lady Gaga's little fans called again? Gremlins. I think her name is Gremlini or something like that.
Yeah,
But anyway,
right.
Germania or something. But anyway, this is going to be Joaquin Phoenix in the mental hospital. And they're going to have her come in and be slowly
Overtaken by him,
Turned.
essentially. Yeah.
I hope they did the first one like Taxi Driver, like a Scorsese movie. I hope they do the second one like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, like he's Jack Nicholson, and like I think on the outside they have all of his people are, because
Supported,
at the start of that they're starting to get big, and I think him inside the mental institution. It's about his escape and kind of turning all the weird people on his side. Maybe there's a Solomon Grundy, maybe there's other Arkham folks in there, but I think that's going to be mad. That's going to be a fantastic movie. I heard a rumor that it might be a musical.
Oh, no.
But could it be because it's all in his head? Because you know the way he does those dances and there's music everywhere, but really those scenes are him just dancing silently.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm nearly pulling up the vapes. But here, Joker movie, I predict that'll be out. But other than that, I've only one left here.
Righto.
Will Smith, by this time next year, do you think Will Smith will be loved again?
No.
Because he has a slavery movie coming out. It's going to be huge, I think. Now, obviously, he's not going to be invited back to the Academy Awards.
He has the potential. However, I think it's still a couple of years away. I think if this next movie is a success, it will start his path to redemption. I don't think he will be completely accepted after it because it's still too soon. Pardon me. I think this movie will get people to look at him differently, look at him better. However, I still think he's a couple of years and maybe a couple of movies away from really being looked upon as, all right, it was a mistake. I just don't. Yeah, I think it's still too soon, and I don't think he's done enough because he hasn't really done too much since. Us having one movie come out, there's still going to be people that are skeptical. So, I reckon he's still a couple of years away.
I agree. However, I think that him and Chris Rock, something's going to happen. There will be a peace treaty talk or something like that. I think they'll come together within this year, within the year from now, and then there will be peace. And peace on earth following.
Look, I still think there may be peace between them, but people don't forget. So, they may make amends.
They'd better not forget.
They won't.
The fuck with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, who was in Gotham. It's all full circle. But unless have you got any more predictions, or will we like to leave? That's enough predictions.
If we go with more predictions, we'll be here for 5 days.
Everybody, hold us accountable. In 1 year from now, an episode on the 2nd of December 2023, we will revisit this and we'll see what happened.
See if we're right.
What do you think, Vinno? Do you think we'll do well?
I reckon look, I won't say that we've cheated. We've given ourselves multiple options in some of these, right?
Yeah.
Our predictions are pretty accurate, and I think it would be interesting to go back. Well, when I say they're pretty accurate, we won't know until 12 months' time, right? But it'll be good to go back and have a look and hear again what we've said throughout this episode, and look back at events that have happened and gone, nah, fuck, we were well off. Like, because next year,
how presumptuous we are.
There'll be a scandal because you know, Putin and Zelensky will be caught in the bushes with their pants down, you know, having.
Did you see that
having
Russian soldier getting killed?
What? Oh,
A Russian soldier was given a blowjob and he got bombed.
Oh, no, I
With a
didn't. see that.
drone. If you ever see that, there's two Russian soldiers. There's one going down on another Russian soldier giving him head, and there's this drone footage of them killing him.
No,
He died happy.
he did,
Died
and
happy.
like, shit as it is to die, he died.
We should all be so lucky.
But I like,
I die getting head. I die ahead. and on that positive, I think I'm on too many beers.
maybe, yeah.
And on that positive
Note.
ending, we shall leave you. Dave and Vinno show heads. We haven't have a nickname for you like Firesiders yet, but we'll come to it. We're nearly at the end of the year, Vinno.
Sorry about
Cheers
the
to
week
you,
we
bro.
missed. It's going to be busy, but yeah, we'll catch it. Anyway, cheers, legends.